Hello, how you doing, network? How you guys doing today? My name is Michael Hodges. For those that don't know me, from Program Design Technologies. Today, we're going to go to a topic that I think will help you guys out. I call it kindergarten marketing campaigns, paid search campaigns, because it's it's not that complicated. It's time consuming. And the hardest thing would be is actually writing the content. If you're thinking of if you're running Facebook ads, and I think this would be very good for you to look at this, because it's going to orient you more or less what the marketing companies do. What do we do? Take a look at it. I hope it helps you. And let's start. Marketing habits. Let me share screens. Okay. All right. Effective Facebook ad campaigns. Let's take a look. What is an effective Facebook ad campaign? I hope you can see my mouse. On the left-hand side, we see that you're going to do your Facebook ad, correct? This is kindergarten stuff, guys. Your Facebook ad, when you take a look at the insights, it's going to tell you how many people actually saw the ad. Maybe not clicked it, maybe not look at it, but it will tell you how many people actually saw the ad, how many go through their feed or wherever they looked at it. Now, if you have 3,000 clicks, and if you have 3,000 people who saw it, yet you had very little response, people clicked it, or commented, or pressed like, well, we know our problem there is the people that we selected are not the correct audience, right? Maybe the segment that we chose is not a active segment for that type of product. Like I was talking in the previous video about the paid ad campaigns. If you install Windows but there's no construction in your city and you put the ad in your city, that's something that can happen that you're not going to get very much impressions, right? Or if you put an ad for air conditioning refill or Freon in the summer, if the people are not interested in that at that time. So if you see a lot of people saw it, but very little impressions, you have to look the quality of the ad, if the pictures are right, if the writing is confusing, if the segment is correct, if the area that you hit is correct, right? Because that's what manages that part of the ad. If it's going through the feed and people are not clicking, it's because something's either wrong with it, it's not tuned right, or it's not segmented to the right people. It's 100% what it is. So you have to make sure you put the correct, this is why you have to do your analyzation of where you're going to target the ad, right? For example, in a spa, like a health spa, like massages and stuff like that, even though there is men's spas, the reaction on ads for spas are normally women, right? So you're going to target towards women. Or makeup. There's two things in makeup that you got to look at. When you go into your Facebook page, you're going to see the type of audience that you have. If it's young people, older people who mostly look at your ads and your Facebook page. And according to that, that tells you, that who you should be targeting the ad to. So if you're going to put these bright colors that maybe an older person would like, and your audience is basically young, so young people, you gotta tell these things. So your ads gotta be properly, have a nice picture that is really precise on what you're trying to promote. You have to have the wording, the writing's gotta really explain what you're offering and why they should jump on it, right? So if you see a lot of people saw it, but very little people clicked, it's at the beginning here. It's your ad. It's your configuration on your ad. Okay. Next. The next thing is, if we see an arrow that goes all the way up to the top and then back directly to sales agent, when people click on your ad, what are you asking them to do? Okay. You can ask them for them to call directly from the ad, to call. But what type of business would do that? Generally a food business, like for example, a pizza store, right? They will not take the order then and there. Pizza, hamburgers, fast food. They would want to talk to them right away, right? They're not going to make an appointment to do a pizza. So you got to be careful that in the ad, you're not going to put directly to call unless you have that type of product that supports it, right? Next. So now we got our ad done correctly. It's got the right content. It's configured to the correct people. If I'm some type of food place or something that's quick, I'm going to have them go directly to the sales agent, right? But how about if I'm a medical office, or I am a salon, or I am a realtor? Okay. The next one is you do your ad, right? And most realtors have an IDX. In other words, in their website, it displays all the homes that are available, even though they're not theirs, right? Some websites and some realtors display their personal inventory and not the IDX, because the IDX everybody has. Either way, if it's either your own personal inventory or it's somebody else, or it's the IDX, or it's everybody else's, some of these places will put the ad. Then they'll put a registration form that will ask for an email, will ask for a name, right? And then it goes directly to the agent. On 3,000 visibility, in other words, that they saw the ad, you're going to get about 70 clicks, maybe even 70 registrations. How do a realtor make them register? Well, what you do is, most people, when they see a home on an ad, they want to see what homes you have available. When they click the ad, it goes to the registration form, and unless they fill out the registration form, it will not show the houses on the website. Okay? It's like a glitch. Or on the website, there'll be a pop-up, there'll be a registration form, and it will not allow them to go in to see the house that they saw that they liked, or any of your houses, unless they register. When this happens, normally there's a lot of people that just register to browse. So that you get 70 people to register, out of those 70 people, it'll probably be about 50 that would have some type of interest, that really would like maybe to talk to an agent, right? So Is it wise to do Facebook ad registration and directly to the agent? No, it's not wise because, or to the, unless you have a receptionist, unless you have a person that could be handling the calls, because there's going to be a 20 to 25 calls that are just going to be a waste of time. If you're in office, when you have somebody answering the phone, well, yeah, that's okay. The person answering the phone at the office can be asking the qualifying questions, right? And then set up the appointment with the agent. Okay? But if you're just one agent and you want these calls to come directly to you, it normally isn't wise. It isn't wise to have the Facebook ad, go to a registration form, and go directly to you, because there's, you're out in a showing of a home and you get 2 or 3 calls. It's going to waste a lot of your time, right? So what do the agencies do? What's the next step? You do the ad, you do the registration form, then you do up above the qualifying form, representative, qualifying representative. What's a qualifying representative? Exactly that. After they do you do the ad, they register, and the qualifying representative will call the interested party and will ask them a set of qualifying questions. And then he sets the appointment to the agent. But by the time he sets the appointment to the agent, this is a qualified prospect. He's got the information. It's somebody interested, right? This is the step that most of the agencies do. Facebook ad, registration, a person calls immediately. This is real important. You cannot wait a day, right, to call back a lead that came in through any kind of campaign. Because normally it's in the spur of the moment. They saw you, they jumped on it, and they're hot. They want information. Some of these companies like Conversion.ly or some of these companies that do the appointments, they know and they say that you got 5 minutes, which is kind of impossible sometimes. You have 5 minutes or 10 or 30 tops, but that's already kind of cold, to call this guy while he's hot and tell him, hey, you were inquiring on an ad. I just wanted to know, can I get some information from you so I can send you a list that's more detailed to your specifications, right? So the time between the registering and the message or the lead to coming to you, it's very little time. It's very important. This person's got to be called the fast. It's happened that when I've been doing an appointment, that by the time I call, he's got another realtor. Oh, somebody called me already. I already got him. So the time in getting back to him, you got to remember, a lot of people are doing this. The qualifying representative has to call right away or answer the text, because sometimes they send you text, right away, so that you're on top of it, because in 30, 40 minutes, he can have another realtor talking about it. Right? This is in realty. Okay. So that is one way. That's another way. This is what normally agencies sell you on appointment setup. They run your Facebook ad, which obviously it's a beautiful Facebook ad. They know what to say. They know what to put. to trigger off, then filling out the registration form, and then they have an agent call right away, right? Okay. After they call, they set the appointment. By this time, you got a hot lead, right? That's a hot lead. So optional, and this is done a lot in the marketing companies because most of the meetings with the realtor, most of the meetings are 5, 10, 15 minutes over the phone, and then they set an appointment to see the customer, right, in person. With a marketing company, you got 30, 40-minute meeting. So on the marketing companies, when they set an appointment with a potential customer, the next step is the day of the appointment. Besides having already sent a reminder email or a text message that that customer has an appointment, they call in the morning and confirm that they're going to make it to the meeting, right? So in real estate, it could be done also, but it might be overkill. Because in real estate, it's a 10, 15-minute call, and sometimes the people hate being called so many times, right? In marketing, we have no other choice because it's so important, those 30 minutes, to be able to talk to somebody else. So what you have in marketing, you have a person that confirms the appointment the day of the appointment, calls and says, you have an appointment today, and I just wanted to remind you and see if you're going to be able to make it. In a realty setup, or you don't, you could go directly from the qualifying to, you can have the confirming. I mean, if you have a receptionist that can call in the morning, hey, you got an appointment, it would work, but it might be overkill. So this, now normally the agencies, the marketing companies that do these type of programs, they go Facebook ad, which they build an ad, they put the right configuration so it hits the area and everything else. The registration form, when they click the ad, and then right away, repeat, has to call or text to answer that inquiry as they're hot. You cannot leave it for next day, because by next day somebody else could answer it and somebody else could already connected with this customer, and you will get that. So then next, there's two ways. Once the call is qualified, then you could either live transfer, right? Which you're going to call the agent, say, hey, I got this person, he qualifies, he answered all the questions. Can you take him? Those are the best calls. Those are the best calls because you got him hot. He hit the Facebook ad, he registered, they called and set up, they transferred to the agent. I mean, think about it. People want answers now. So that's like the best. Okay, you can't do that because the agent's out on a showing, he can't do it. So what's the next best thing? He clicks the ad, he registers, they call him to set the appointment, then it goes directly to set up an appointment. The sooner, the better. Because that customer is going to, that day that he has time to look for a home, he's going to look at 4 or 5 pages. You're not the only person, right? So you want to make sure that appointment is, while it's hot, it's whoever gets there first, right? So you have this. In any type of appointment situation, the Facebook ad, the registration form, immediate call from the representative. Qualify. After qualify, to live transfer if you can, because they want right away. And then if they can't, set the appointment as fast as possible, because if you set it for next day, that same day, there could be an agent that's available. Right? Okay. This 70 will turn, and I think that maybe that's a little bit high, but it will turn to 50 qualified in a month, right? 50 qualified appointments. But out of those 50, maybe half won't show up. Why? And I'll tell you why. And this is so important. The reason they're not going to show up is because they were hot in the moment. They saw something they liked, they registered, they qualified them. Okay, I'll talk tomorrow. And by tomorrow, something else is important to them, or they talk to somebody else. This happens to everybody. Sometimes, I remember I was about 23 years old. Me and my wife, we had purchased when the first Hyundais came out, it was my first new car. I purchased a Hyundai Excel, piece of junk. And I just had purchased it. 6 months later, Bank of America had an auction of vehicles that they had repoed. We just stumbled into it. Me and my wife just stumbled into this, this auction there in, I believe it was in Ontario. We saw an Astro van. It was an 89 Astro van that was beautiful. It was just intact. I bought it right there. I wasn't looking for it, but I saw something I liked and I bought it. This is how people are. So the longer you take to respond, the more chances you're not going to get it. You're not going to get the interest of that customer. So it's real important. Wham, bam, bam. It has to be one right after the other. Facebook ad, register form, call them right away. Try to live transfer right away. But obviously, when it's one salesperson, or even if it's in an office, they're not going to be available. Set the appointment as soon as possible, because that customer is not going to stop with you. He's going to do that at 4 or 5 pages and set up 4 or 5 appointments. And whoever clicks at the moment is the one he's going to choose to go with. Right? Now, normally, this qualifying representative, again, you're going to get about maybe 50% that are going to show up, right? Unless it's a live transfer. The next option is, hey, Mike, I don't have a receptionist. I don't have an agent. I don't have somebody that can be doing the calls. And if I'm trying to use a marketing company, it's too expensive. Okay. Facebook ad, look at the bottom. Registration form. Qualifying form. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean. The ad has to be enticing. Right? Click, they register. And the minute they click register, boom, qualification form. Okay? The qualification form has to be worded correctly so they know they're going to get something in return. Right? For example, normally On real estate, you're going to say, oh, please fill this out so we can send you a list according to what you want for your new dream home. So the customer is going to expect a list if he fills out that form, right? He's not expecting a call. He's expecting a list. So he fills it out because he's expecting a list. Okay? So boom, Facebook, boom, registration form, boom, fills out the list, fills out the qualification form, and you could completely skip the appointment setter. You can skip this step. Why? Even though you're going to get less qualified leads, it's going to be 35 instead of 50. Remember that you always lose about 25% are not going to show up. Why? When you have an appointment setter, he's getting paid by appointments. So if there's a particular selling, pushing, right? The appointment setter wants to get the appointment, so he's going to push the guy to and that guy might say yes to the appointment setter, but he doesn't show up when it's time for the appointment of the agent. So, registration form, qualified representative, the appointment and the qualifying, or registration form and qualifying form. And you can jump the appointment setter. You're going to get less, but remember, even if you have an appointment setter, he's going to push the guy into the appointment. So, everybody knows what happens with people you push. It comes the next day, it's cold, right? And then, but the guy who fills out the qualification form, I can tell you he's going to be more interested, because if he sat there with nobody selling him to fill it out, he's interested, right? Now, you're going to get less, but at the appointment, you're going to get about the same as the guy who qualified it in person and did this. Even though this guy set more appointments, the qualifying form, you're going to get about the same. And the guy who filled out the form, he's really interested. That's why he filled out the form. There's nobody convincing him to fill it out. Okay? So the next step, but the agent has to forcibly call within 5 or 10 minutes. That's not going to happen all the time. Why? Because the agent's busy. So you still need the appointment setter to call, confirm the information, set the appointment. But you can, here's another filter. This is another filter, because of these 35, this appointment setter is going to actually reduce that filter again, so that the agent is going to reduce it so that the quality of the appointment is going to be better, because the agents actually, if they get to this point, they're a hot lead. Now, do you notice that it drops from qualified 35 to qualified 20 after the agent calls? Because some people fill out the form and they change their mind. But if they register, fill out the form, and then talk to the appointment setter and set the appointment, they're interested. But this has to be boom, boom, boom. It cannot be something that you're going to call the next day, because there's appointment setters that work 24 hours a day, and they'll talk to a person at 2 a.m. Because I had a guy that worked all day long, and he wouldn't be able to. You know what? Could you call me at 8 o'clock at night? We closed at 5. So it's really important that the appointment setter calls as soon as possible. Because if you don't do it, there's going to be an agent out there in need of work. that's going to be desperate to find somebody that's going to get that, he's going to attend to him. Right? Okay. And then, again, you can add the confirming step, the representative that confirms. This representative that confirms now becomes also the one that reschedules. He confirms the ones of today, and he reschedules the ones that don't show up. Right? So, Facebook ad, registration, qualifying form. Call right away. Oh, I got your information. I just want to confirm it. I want to set up an appointment. The day of the appointment, call it. Hey, we got an appointment for you today at such and such hour. Oh, I can't make it. Okay, I can reschedule it for you. And then the sales agent. Like I said again, the confirming on the same day is something that marketing companies do because each appointment is about 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes to try to, pitch a marketing program. On real estate, on any other type or a spa or something like that, I have seen spas that call and confirm because if they set a half an hour for one customer and in the morning the person says he doesn't show up, they could put somebody who wasn't on the appointment. So that's the way that works. Nurture email funnel, right? Oops. Okay, let's put this over here. Nurture email funnel is like a newsletter, promotions, everything else. Now that you collected, that up there? No, I don't have it there. Now that you collected their email, their name, and their phone number, if your customer drops anywhere in this process, he's going to go to here. You have his email address, phone number, and then he goes to here. And you set him on automatic. Does this sound complicated? Does that sound complicated? Now, Mike, what am I going to do? I mean, where am I going to get the forms? Well, Facebook has a form you can configure that when you click it, it automatically takes the information off the person's profile, right? And then it has a button that you click and it will go into the qualifying form. Okay, if you're going the step of the qualifying form, let me show you. This is my website. You notice my website has make appointment, and where are you? Okay, make appointment. I think there's another one, make appointments. Okay. My website, when you click make appointment, it goes into a qualifying form, right? So this is free, Google Forms. It's free. Yeah, there's other programs, there's Jotform, there's everything else, but this is free. So this link of my Google Forms, I could place it in the button of Facebook. So when the person clicks, okay, they're going to click the Facebook campaign. It's going to pull automatically the information, name, phone number, and that. And then they're going to click, I'm interested, and then it's going to jump. Just like it jumps here, it's going to jump into here. And then they're going to send, and that's going to go to your email. or wherever you want it to go. You can configure it to send it to an email to somebody. And the minute you get the form, either the agent, if he doesn't have anybody to do it, either the marketing company agent or either your receptionist is going to call and do the next step. But that phone call has to be immediate. Right? We were just talking about, I was just seeing, because I always, look at updates and look at what's trending and all that. And they're saying this Messenger is just dead right now. See, it asked everything, and you click that right now the Messenger is something that every company has to have. So going back to the fear, it's kindergarten stuff. Your ad, enticing. Configure it to where you want it to go. Depending on the product, do not go too wide. Facebook ad, registering form. Facebook itself has a form, pulls all the information out when you're running the ad. Configure it. After the registration form, Google form, qualifying form. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. After the qualifying form, when it's sent, whoever you have marked to do the work, call right away. Hey, we did receive your form. You're interested in it. Okay. Would you like to talk to the agent? Yes. Okay. Can I put you on hold for a second? Boom. This guy's like this. Can you take him? I'm in a showing. Okay. Click. You know what? Right now he's actually busy, but I can set you up an appointment for as soon as possible. How is 3 o'clock? Can you set up for 3 o'clock? Right? This has to be boom, 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 boom. Okay? Kindergarten stuff. It's kindergarten stuff. However, as a marketing agent, obviously we take this off your hands and we do it ourselves and we make sure it works. But I understand, I'm a business. Sometimes you're scared, or you already got abused of by some kind of marketing agency. They already charge you, they didn't do anything. We understand that. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it happen, and it's nothing new to us. Facebook ad, remember, configure correctly. Nice, good wording to that. If there's a lot of people who saw it but not clicked on it, there's something wrong. It has all to do with the configuration. All to do with it. So you got to work on that ad. Right? Okay, now they start clicking it. You did a good ad. Registration form. After the registration form, if you have a guy qualifying, right away. Oh, hi, you filled this out. I'm just inquiring on it, and I want to, narrow down your list, and right away. If you want to, if you want to save or filter, because I remember we used to call, 50, 60 people, no answer, to get per day 3 or 4 appointments, and maybe sometimes 2. Sometimes that can get expensive on the phone calls, and then you're paying a guy to do it. And so sometimes the qualifying form is a savior. Now, a marketing company is not going to press you for the qualifying form because he wants to show you he's doing something. So he's going to go for oh no, we got to call him live. It's the same thing. Same thing. It's very little you're going to lose. Actually, the guy who fills out the form is more interested than the guy who sells him the appointment. I mean, it's common sense. So the agency is going to tell you, oh, no, you need a guy that's calling him right away. No. Yeah, you do. But the qualifying form is going to filter that so he doesn't make a million calls for people not to answer. Which it happens. Believe me, it happens. So the agency, to try to show you that they're doing something, they don't want to use the qualifying form. But if you word the qualifying form correctly, the people that are really interested are the ones that are going to fill it out. And everybody else, why do I want to call people that don't want me to call them? And then you got this guy registered and qualified, and then you call them, is they're going to be more receptive. And the appointment's got to be either in the moment, if you can't do it, set the appointment as soon as possible, because these people, they filled out 5 or 6 forms for 4 or 5 websites, right? So, or Facebook ads. So you need to be quick. Next, and this is on the agents, and I'm telling you because I've lived it. I've lived it. I've done this process. I've been the appointment setter. I've been the qualifier. I've been the one that makes the ad. Agents. Hello? You know? Hi, my name is Michael. Thank you for calling So-and-so Realty. How can I help you? Right? Or if you know, because you know, if it's a live transfer or if it's an appointment, hi, I'm calling from So-and-so Realty. My name is So-and-so. You know, show interest. I don't care if you got 10 showings. You could have 20, but I had some agents that just would treat the call. I mean, they were so used to having appointments, they lost the sensibility I don't know what do they do. I don't know why they just don't hire somebody else to attend to them if they don't have time. They're paying for it. But anyway, that's another show. Okay, so this is kindergarten stuff. You're an agent. I mean, like I said again, if you're paying, I think it was the setup fee of a company was like $2,500 and then $40 per appointment. That's a lot of money. And another one is $1,200, but it had nothing to do with these campaigns. You saw how it works. And there's CRMs that'll make this life a lot easier. $7 an hour, we could do it for you. One marketing agent. But you understand the process. The same thing I showed you here is what the marketing company is going to do. Obviously, they got, 50, 60, 70 people they're doing it for. So, hope you learned something. Michael Hodges, business analyst. I was going to say the name of my last job. Program Design Technologies, 1-845-470-0217. Have an awesome day. See you in the next video. Thanks.